You can't read your book until your father's finished with the paper. Jamil, you're next. Good job, honey. You can play with Frisbee when Rose is finished.
You wouldn't take turns for everyday family activities. So why do it with your internet?
Rose, you can eat when Jamil is finished. Then it's Dad's turn.
Only EPB gives you up to 1,000 megabits per second. So you can stream, game, work, and connect on all your devices at the same time. Get the gig.
Where are you? Are you here? Are you there? Are you on this planet? Are you on the way? On the verge? On the brink? Are you leading the pack or just getting started? Are you stuck? Did you decide somewhere along the way that this was the only place you could be? That everywhere else was out of reach? It's a simple question we ask ourselves constantly. Where am I? Where am I going? Where am I going to end up? But that's the wrong question. It misses the point entirely. So let me ask you the right question. Where would you rather be? Now that is a question for the bold. Where would you rather be? It's a reflection of self. It centers us and sets the course. It demands a calibration to what's important. That's the question that brings us to clarity. Because knowing where you are is one thing, but knowing what you fight for and what you believe in is everything. Where would you rather be? It points us to the larger questions that will define us. What will you dare do? What does winning mean? What will you leave behind? We know that by uncovering the answers, we can navigate from where you are today to where you want to go. Together, on your side, by your side. So with that, I ask you this one more time. Where would you rather be? We won't stop until we help you get there. So let's get started. Are you coming?
Welcome to the Chattanooga Chamber annual meeting. I want to thank you for attending this event today. And we have several businesses that have supported this event. So let's get it kicked off today. Here's a message from our presenting sponsors, Elliott Davis and EPB.
Where are you? Are you here? Are you there? Are you on this planet? Are you on the way? On the verge? On the brink? Are you leading the pack or just getting started? Are you stuck? Did you decide somewhere along the way that this was the only place you could be? That everywhere else was out of reach? It's a simple question we ask ourselves constantly. Where am I? Where am I going? Where am I going to end up? But that's the wrong question. It misses the point entirely. So let me ask you the right question. Where would you rather be? Now that is a question for the bold. Where would you rather be? It's a reflection of self. It centers us and sets the course. It demands a calibration to what's important. That's the question that brings us to clarity. Because knowing where you are is one thing, but knowing what you fight for and what you believe in is everything. Where would you rather be? It points us to the larger questions that will define us. What will you dare do? What does winning mean? What will you leave behind? We know that by uncovering the answers, we can navigate from where you are today to where you want to go. Together, on your side, by your side. So with that, I ask you this one more time. Where would you rather be? We won't stop until we help you get there. So let's get started. Are you coming?
You can't read your book until your father's finished with the paper. Jamil, you're next. Good job, honey. You can play with Frisbee when Rose is finished.
You wouldn't take turns for everyday family activities. So why do it with your internet?
Rose, you can eat when Jamil is finished. Then it's Dad's turn.
Only EPB gives you up to 1,000 megabits per second, so you can stream, game, work, and connect on all your devices at the same time. Get the gig.
We also thank our platinum sponsors, Volkswagen, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, Sandler Training, and our gold sponsors, Chattanooga Airport, Chambliss, Food City, Lattimore Black, Morgan and Kane, Novatech, the Sasha Group, Pinnacle Financial Partners, and Unum. Without our sponsors, we would not be where we are today, especially this year. My heartfelt thanks to you for your support and encouragement. We've worked hard to give our sponsors as much additional visibility as possible, and I know that you will be appreciative for their support. As an organization, we're in a surprising good position compared with many other chambers across the country. In fact, some have had to close their doors, and we are empathetic to the incredible obstacles and challenges facing our businesses and families. As a chamber, I'm grateful for the planning and volunteer hours we consistently committed, because without a strong plan, we wouldn't be where we are today. It helps to put our efforts into context, and that means recent history. Let's go back to the end of 2018. In that time frame, we were asking our community to share the challenges they envisioned over the next 20 years. From those 5,000 survey responses, we developed a community-wide vision known as Velocity 2040, named for the year 2040. A major goal set in that plan is to ensure every resident of Hamilton County has the chance to thrive economically. From the Velocity 2040 plan, the Chattanooga Chamber took on the economic and talent development challenges we would face to reach our ambitious goals, with a focus as well as on capital investment and support for startups and economic inclusion as a cornerstone of overall foundational growth. We called both the plan and the fundraising campaign Chattanooga Climbs. And from July 2019 through about March of 2020, we remained laser focused on jobs and talent development, along with uplifting our fundraising to advance our community's plans. I am happy today to report that we reached our bold goal of pledges of $15 million over 5 years. That's right, $3 million a year. And this was hattoned by 100 investors. We're holding regular updates with our investors, and we thank you profusely for leading our community's vision for the future. Later in our program, President and CEO Christy Gillenwater will cover our response to the impact on businesses. With the pandemic, stay at home, and the many other challenges the spring and early summer delivered, it was certainly a spring and summer like no other one in my memory. I would call this part of our year rebuilding momentum, as we plan to help businesses get through the pandemic and rebuild economic stability. Speaking of jobs, our #1 priority. Recently, Charles Wood, Vice President of Economic Development, shared that this year we've worked on more than 65 projects. In the same time period a year ago, we had worked on 48 projects. That's fantastic. It takes advanced planning to reestablish our momentum and keep us moving forward. Let's take a look at a few metrics we established for Chattanooga Climbs. Let's specifically take a look at that last stat. For our wage numbers, we are almost at our 5-year goal. It's more critical than ever that we keep planning ahead for jobs, that we are eager, our community, and the work we need to keep rebuilding our momentum. This work doesn't happen without you. Whether you are telling a relative how great it is to live here, or sharing a business prospect or a student in another city, these word-of-mouth endorsements, basically stories about our community, make a tremendous difference. And when you come to the Chamber with a prospect, we act. Now at this time, I would like to introduce our mayors. We've gone from a new normal to a now normal, to what happens next normal. To share with us their plans for our community, we'll hear from Hamilton County Mayor Jim Coppinger and then City of Chattanooga Mayor Andy Burke. We thank them for sharing their time with us and their thoughts about what's next.
Good afternoon. This is certainly different. In a normal year, I'd be more than happy to tell you about how over the last decade, we have seen $4.2 billion in economic development investment in Hamilton County that has resulted in over 18,000 new jobs. However, we are now living in a world where we have to learn to coexist with the COVID-19, which has changed many things, but not everything. We continue to work every day to bring the very best education to our students who will be our future workforce. The needs for a skilled, technologically trained workforce will be even greater when we get through this. This is one of the reasons why we recently partnered with EPB and several foundations to try and bridge the digital divide and provide internet service to over 28,000 Hamilton County Public School children. Our foundations have been incredible over the past 6 months since the first coronavirus case was reported on Friday, March the 13th. This whole community has been resilient in the face of this pandemic. We have worked to make sure that our business community has been able to recover from the shutdowns that happened in the spring. There's been a surge of new entrepreneurs in the Business Development Center. The incubator boasts of 44 office and manufacturing companies with a total of 185 employees. And 18 of those companies are women and minority owned. We have worked to find ways for us to return to some sort of normalcy. We thank each and every one of you who have practiced the necessary precautions to coexist with this virus. Wearing masks, practicing social distancing, practicing good hygiene with frequent hand washing, by being respectful to others to protect them from you as well as you from them. I have no doubt we will recover from this crisis and emerge even stronger than before. It may take a while before we return to the 3.5% unemployment rate that we had just before March, but we will do so. We are resilient. We know that this county overcomes floods, tornadoes, recessions, and we will overcome this pandemic also. Let me conclude by simply saying thank you for everything you're doing for your family, your coworkers, and your employees in these difficult times. Stay safe, and I look forward to the time when we can meet again in person.
Thank you so much, and I am happy to be with you today. Normally we'd be in a large ballroom and crammed around tables, celebrating the successes of what was poised to be a great year for Chattanoogans. Instead, I'm speaking to you virtually, something we've all become accustomed to over the last 6 months. We struggled through Zoom meetings and Skypes. Friends and family have shared news and held virtual happy hours instead of gathering together. And our business community has had to adapt to serve our residents. It hasn't always been easy, but it has been necessary. And doing the hard, necessary things to make our community thrive is what makes Chattanooga special. This is who we are. In January, Forbes magazine said Chattanooga would be the #1 place for new jobs in 2020. Little did we know that just a few months later, we'd be in the middle of a global pandemic that would cripple our economy. But we didn't let that stop us. We looked for solutions to help our neighbors. The United Way and many others came together within days to set up resources for displaced workers and struggling business owners. The Chattanooga Chamber started the Chattanooga to Go campaign to encourage residents to continue to support our small businesses. And the Chattanooga City Council agreed to set aside $2.5 million to help our small businesses weather this crisis. In the end, we served more than 200 businesses. This is who we are. Then we were hit by a deadly tornado. Homes and businesses were flattened, power gone for days. Yet hundreds of strangers braced the pandemic to help rebuild. This is who we are. Despite these setbacks, we've seen growth and a continued desire to invest in Chattanooga. From new businesses like Nippon Paint's $60 million investment in East Chattanooga to an $11.25 million expansion from Zeus Industrial Products, we continue to see deals coming to our city. And still, we continue to innovate. 10 years ago, thanks to EPB, we harnessed the power of the gig, the fastest, cheapest, most pervasive internet in the world. Today, through HCS EdConnect, we're connecting more than 28,000 Title I students and their families to high-speed internet at no charge for the next 10 years. Where the digital divide threatens to hold so many families back in so many parts of our country, in Chattanooga, we're still working together to build new bridges. That's what fairness looks like in action. This is who we are. I know that many people in our community, including so many businesses, are really hurting. But Chattanooga is resilient. We've proven that over and over again for more than 175 years, and we'll come through this too. We still have a ways to go to beat this pandemic and start our recovery. The more we work together to stop the spread of the virus, the sooner we can all get back to work, rebuilding our economy and creating more opportunities for everyone. The business community must lead the way, and I applaud our local employers for the immensely difficult steps they have already had to take to protect our workers and their customers. Your leadership is and will continue to be critical. We're in this together. This is who we are. Thank you.
Thank you, mayors, for your continued support and rebuilding momentum in our fair city. Now, at this time, I have the pleasure to announce the Ambassador of the Year Award. Help me congratulate Carl Hames with Office Furniture Warehouse. Carl joined the Chamber Ambassadors in June of 2012. Since then, he has made his mark on the ambassadors as well as the Chamber at large. Carl exemplifies what it means to be an ambassador. He goes beyond and above for our members and truly carries out the Chamber's mission to champion our members' businesses by being a connector at networking events and boosting up member businesses any way he can. Carl has compiled more than 12,230 points supporting members in his 8 years of being an ambassador. Congratulations, Carl. We look forward to reading more about how you did it in the Chamber's Trend magazine. We appreciate your commitment and dedication. As we continue the path of rebuilding our momentum, I'm confident in the resiliency of the people of our community to rebuild and continue to move forward. I am very confident that Valerie Armstrong will continue to carry the baton to rebuild momentum, leading the way as we work towards achieving the bold goals of Chattanooga Climbs.
Thank you so much, JV, for your unwavering leadership over the last year as chair of the board. And on behalf of myself as the incoming chair, as well as our board of directors, the executive committee, the staff at the chamber, and our membership base, we want to thank you and present you with this gift for all of the hard work that you've done over the last year. And as you see it, you're going to see that this is just a cumulation of you and who you are and how you approach things just so eloquently as only JV can. So we thank you so much for all of your hard work. You led us to the way of achieving our $15 million Boulder goal for Chattanooga Climbs, and that is amazing. And so for me to be able to come in and learn so much for you is overwhelming. And so thank you so much. We're not going to let you go too far away. We appreciate all of the great work that you've done for the Chattanooga Area Chamber of Commerce. And for my first public official act as chair, I am announcing another winner. I like this work already. In a year that essentially ended 3 months short for the councils, the Hickson Council finished strong with 12 new members, totaling $6,400 in new membership dollars. 3 of the new businesses were brought on during the pandemic, a feat the Hickson Council is proud of, and we as well at the Chamber. Congratulations to the Hickson Council. Over the past 6 months, you've no doubt seen the resiliency of Chattanooga's and the ability of people to come together to solve big problems. That's what our Chattanooga Area Chamber of Commerce has done for the last 133 years. As JV mentioned, we remain committed to the goals of our 5-year economic growth and inclusive talent development plan. We remain passionately committed to the aspirational goals of Chattanooga Climbs. As a community here in Hamilton County, we are resilient, courageous, and authentic. I believe in us as a strong community. In the coming months, I look forward to working closely with our board of directors, our Chattanooga Chamber Council leaders, business leaders, key partners, and our many volunteers. It's extremely important for me that we work to connect and engage with businesses and organizations to rebuild our momentum, specifically in the areas of economic growth and inclusive talent development. We are in a strong competitive position. Site selectors tell us that mid-sized cities are cool again and big cities are out. Looking forward, 61% of companies report that they are moving forward with site selection projects. The pandemic has demonstrated the high value of offering the fastest internet in the world. And when employees and employers need to work from home, we're one of the best, if not the best, communities people could possibly consider for relocation, especially those who enjoy outdoor activities and must have that high-speed internet. We are always planning for our future, and we never once thought about anything other than a robust rebuild of our economy. It will take all of us working together, exchanging ideas, creating an inclusive atmosphere, and outthinking our competition. As you will hear from Christy Gillenwater, she will say, we remain laser focused on rebuilding momentum for our area businesses. In terms of big announcements, we applaud Southern Champion Trade with their commitment to invest nearly $85 million in their new manufacturing facility and to create 120 new jobs here in our community. We're encouraged when companies like Southern Champion Trade choose home for expansion. Several of our talented local entrepreneurs are also leading the way. The most recent example is FreightWaves, a leading provider of freight data and analytics. They raised $37 million since April, putting a total capital the company has raised at $75 million. I offer my congrats to Craig Fuller and his team. He is leading the way and showing that we can and we must increase capital investments in our businesses. July also brought an incredible investment in our future when multiple community partners joined EPB in a truly visionary project. More than 28,000 students will receive free internet via the Hamilton County Schools Ed Connect program. I want you to pause for a moment and think about how this benefits the entire family for each of these students. This promises to have a positive generational impact. The pandemic has brought us many opportunities to collaborate and to look for innovation. We've proven again that we can truly shine in these times of crisis. This is a fantastic example of how our community comes together to solve big problems. Hamilton County Schools raised $6 million towards the upfront infrastructure investment of $8.2 million needed for the additional infrastructure and equipment to begin this project. I'd like to recognize HCS Ed Connect's funding partners, Hamilton County, the City of Chattanooga, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee Foundation, and the Smart City Venture Fund, which includes Benwood Foundation, the Community Foundation, Footprint Foundation, and the Robert L. and Catherine A. McKellen Foundation. Our community can be proud of this work as we strive to help meet some ambitious goals in workforce and talent development. It's heart-lifting to see what we can do when we come together and work together. Speaking of coming together, in some ways, it's never been easier to engage with the Chattanooga Chamber's many programs and networking opportunities. It's as close as your phone or your keyboard. The Chattanooga Chamber reshaped what it means to network, providing creative online programming and tools for small businesses and all businesses to stay engaged and help their businesses prosper. Some of the best opportunities are right around the corner. Our Business Expo will be held virtually for 2 days on August the 26th and 27th. You have to admire the work it took the Chamber to create new, exciting twists on events this year. Won't you join us? It will take all of our diverse talents and voices to rebuild our momentum and achieve the goals that we have set together. And now I'll turn the program over to Christy Gillenwater, our Chattanooga Chamber President and CEO. I'm sure when she accepted the job more than 2 years ago, none of us envisioned this many crises to work through at once. But that's what true leadership is about, taking the challenges as they come and turning them into opportunities. We are in good hands.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. JV reflected back on all of the positive accomplishments of last year, and Val got us excited about our future. I'll do a little bit of both as we begin to wrap up. We'll conclude with a long-awaited announcement of our Chattanooga Chamber Council of the Year. We are working hard to rebuild momentum and look forward to our future. But sometimes when you're climbing higher, you have to step back and try a new route. This is exactly what we have experienced so far in 2020. When our stay-at-home period first began in March, your friends at the Chamber immediately started the work of providing trusted local information to businesses when they needed it the most. We made that information accessible to all businesses, whether they were Chamber members or not, through our website, which focused on jobs and resources, as well as where to locate PPE, personal protective equipment, and much more. As we produced more than 30 videos with real-time information on pay protection plans, funding sources, new regulations, and more, there was more than an 850% jump in viewers year over year. That told us we were reaching people with valued information. We also called more than 2,000 businesses to listen to their needs and provide resource information. Despite challenging times for all of our businesses, especially our small businesses, we retained 84% of our members and about 90% of our investment dues. That is a real positive sign as we rebuild momentum. We collected and shared important data through 3 economic surveys. We were well positioned in public policy throughout the year, and this was especially helpful as national, state, and local governments began working through the crisis with new legislation. We knew our local small businesses were hurting, and in collaboration with our greater community, we launched a marketing campaign called Chattanooga to Go to keep businesses going. We knew that part of the core work with Velocity 2040 was to think through potential scenarios for our community in the future and to plan for them. And while we did not predict this pandemic, no one could have, we did learn that key areas of focus for Chattanooga Climbs still resonate now more than ever, after standing up multiple crises. The foundation of our Chattanooga Climbs 5-year plan include Future Ready, Skills for the New Economy, Mobility for All, Every Resident is Thriving, Gig City Wins, where entrepreneurs lead the way, and an inclusive economy with collaborative leaders. Rebuilding momentum means that we will keep planning ahead for jobs and continue to engage our community in this work. Over the past 12 to 13 months, many positive national news headlines featured Chattanooga and Hamilton County, and we will continue the behind-the-scenes work that it takes to garner these headlines and broadcasts. collaborating closely with our city and county leaders to keep our Chattanooga brand highly visible. Last year, we saw 521 million media impressions with messages about Chattanooga's economic development, our talent attraction, and our world-class fastest internet in the world. And there are many other data points available on our online annual report. You can check it out on our website. In the coming months, we'll keep showing the world how Chattanooga is a place where we grow companies that are strong and resilient, a place where working remotely is easy and internet access is reliable, creating a haven for remote workers. We'll keep bridging the digital divide for our students and our parents, and we'll share the knowledge about how we have leveraged smart city technology, a true benefit of a city rebuilding from the pandemic. We will share our stories about how we remain committed to sustainability and how important we take our role as a shining light in the South. And now, for one of the moments we've all been waiting for, Council of the Year. Each of our 12 councils perform outstanding work in our community, bringing businesses together and giving back to our community. But there's only one Council of the Year. Congratulations to the Hickson Council. The Hickson Council is committed to the businesses in their footprint and to bridging them to the schools within the Hickson area. They have grown their networking events outside of the monthly lunch. Their attendance grew to an average of 45 each month. This year, the Hickson Council was committed to supporting the Hickson area schools above and beyond their normal annual giving for the purposes of supporting online and virtual learning, totaling $6,000 in grants. Congratulations to the Hickson Council, to all of our volunteers and members in the Hickson Council footprint. We will weather this storm together as a community because resiliency is in our DNA in Chattanooga. Our thoughts and prayers are with you and your families as we coexist with COVID-19. We coexist to keep our economy open and growing so that more of our residents can thrive and prosper. Thank you for joining us today and for your continued partnership in the Chattanooga Area Chamber of Commerce. We could not lead the way without your engagement in our organization. Thank you and have a great day.